What is distinctive about Pre-Raphaelite art in Britain? If you're curious about the Pre-Raphaelite movement and what made their art so unique, you're in the right place. Let's explore the key features that set them apart. First off, the Pre-Raphaelites were a group of artists who challenged the conventional art practices of their time. They opposed the British Royal Academy, which favored idealized and moral subjects inspired by the early Italian Renaissance and classical art. Instead, the Pre-Raphaelites looked to an earlier period before the High Renaissance for inspiration. They believed that artists from this time, like those from the medieval period, provided a better model for depicting nature and the human body realistically rather than idealistically. One of the most distinctive aspects of Pre-Raphaelite art is their commitment to naturalism. They focused on detailed studies of nature, aiming to capture its appearance accurately, even if it meant showing ugliness. This approach was quite bold, as it went against the traditional idealized depictions of the time. For example, John Everett Millais's painting, Christ in the House of His Parents, was criticized for its realistic portrayal of the Virgin Mary, which was seen as ugly and even sacrilegious by some. Pre-Raphaelite artists were also known for their use of bright colors and meticulous attention to detail. They painted outdoors to capture the natural light and textures of the environment. William Holman Hunt's Our English Coast's Strayed Sheep is a prime example, where he painted the scene on location, capturing the changing effects of light on various surfaces like fields, flowers, and water. Their subjects were often drawn from literature, history, and mythology. They were particularly fond of Shakespearean plays, poems by Alfred Tennyson, and tales from King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. These themes were depicted with a focus on intimate, emotional moments and a strong emphasis on historical accuracy. For instance, John William Waterhouse's paintings often featured medieval myths and ancient Greek mythology. The Pre-Raphaelites were also influenced by the critic John Ruskin, who advocated for painting directly from nature. Ruskin's advice to observe nature closely and reject nothing was taken to heart by these artists. This led to highly detailed and realistic landscapes where every inch of the canvas was filled with the minutiae of nature. Another distinctive feature was their use of models from everyday life. These models, often working-class women, were depicted in their natural state, rather than idealized. Elizabeth Siddal, for example, modeled for Millais's Ophelia, and was known for her unusual looks, which were highly regarded by the Pre-Raphaelite artists. The Pre-Raphaelites were not afraid to tackle controversial subjects either. They depicted themes such as poverty, emigration, prostitution, and the double standards of sexual morality in society. These themes were often encoded with signs and symbols that required close reading to understand. For instance, William Holman Hunt's The Awakening Conscience appears to be a simple scene at first glance, but reveals a complex narrative of fall and possible redemption upon closer inspection. In summary, Pre-Raphaelite art in Britain is distinctive for its realistic and detailed depiction of nature, its use of bright colors, its focus on literary and historical themes, and its willingness to challenge conventional art practices and social norms. These artists brought a fresh and daring approach to art, making their works stand out in the mid-19th century.